We've already gone over the South region, and now we are going to be going over the East region, which has the 1 seed as Duke. Um, this is definitely a very, very good region, in my opinion. I think that this could go um, one or two different ways, but with Duke being that heavy favorite in this region. So, starting off here with this Duke, and then either American or Mount St. Mary's. Duke, I think, is the best team in the country. I think that they easily get through this game. I don't really think that there's much of a question. Like I said in the last video, I think that the 4-1 seeds will not get beat this year in the first round. I think that it is very, very lopsided. I think that the 4-1 seeds are very, very good teams, and I think that even the 2 seeds and even the 3 seeds are much better than the competition that they play, and that's because a lot of those mid majors won their conference tournaments when they shouldn't have, and that is kind of shaping out to provide those 1 seeds with easy first round matchups, which we have not seen in the past with like FDU beating Purdue. But then going down here to Mississippi State and Baylor, this game is definitely is going to be hard to pick between the two. I think that either team could win. They are very, very similar offensively and defensively. Mississippi State is definitely better inside the arc rather than Baylor being better from 3. Neither will turn it over, and Mississippi State is better defensively, and Mississippi State rebounds a little bit better, which is why I am going to give the edge to Mississippi State. And then going down to Oregon and Liberty. They both kind of turn it over at similar rates, which kind of doesn't really matter. Neither of them they kind of force turnovers at a similar rate, so I don't think that turnovers is really going to be a determining factor in this game. And then Oregon gets a little bit more steals and blocks than what Liberty does, but they kind of turn it over at the same amount, so that those steals aren't really going to affect Liberty as much as it would in a different game. And then Oregon kind of would out rebound Liberty. In my opinion, I think that rebounds matter in these games, and Liberty is slightly better offensively and defensively, and they're way more efficient. But I think that what's going to come down to determine this game is going to be the rebounding and the steals and blocks that Oregon is going to get on a team like Liberty. So I think that Oregon does end up getting out of this game with a close win. I think that this game could be within 5 to 10 points. And then moving on to the 4 seed Arizona against the 13 seed Akron. They both have these two teams are very, very similar. They both have similar offensively and defensive ratings. Akron is way more efficient than what Arizona is. They turn it over at similar rates. They are similar in steals and blocks. They are similar in rebounding. But I think that the edge here is going to be the fact that Arizona has been up and down all year. Akron has played at an insane rate the entire year, and Akron being more efficient, I think, is going to be why Akron ends up beating Arizona in this game. And I think that this is going to be one of the first major upsets in the bracket. And then moving on to BYU and VCU. BYU is very good offensively. They're a little bit more efficient than what VCU is. They force a lot of turnovers, and VCU turns the ball over quite a bit. BYU rebounds it better, and those two things are going to be so crucial for BYU against VCU, is going to be those turnovers and those rebounds. VCU is very, very good defensively, but they're not great from 3, and they shoot it a ton. Now, where BYU shoots a ton of threes, but they are above average at it. So I think that what's going to come down to determine this game is going to be the rebounds and the turnovers that BYU is going to get, and that's why BYU, I think, is going to beat VCU. And then for Wisconsin and Montana, I think that Wisconsin is playing really, really great basketball right now. They really should have beaten Michigan in the Big Ten championship. They on this 3 line against a team like Montana, who is still very, very good. I think that what's going to come down to determine this game is the fact that Wisconsin does not turn the ball over a lot, and Montana is not great defensively, and with how good Wisconsin is offensively, I think that it's going to come down to those very little things as to why Wisconsin is going to beat Montana. Now, I don't think that the ones, twos, or threes are going to lose this year. Those 1, 2, and 3 lines are very, very good teams this year. And then for St. Mary's and Vanderbilt, St. Mary's is very, very good defensively, while Vanderbilt is very, very bad defensively. Both are not super, super efficient. Neither will turn it over. Vandy gets more steals, but St. Mary's is going to out rebound a team like Vanderbilt. And I think that is what's going to determine this game, because St. Mary's is still going to be able to score a ton of points, while Vanderbilt is not going to be able to keep up with how good St. Mary's defense is. And I think that is why St. Mary's is going to beat Vanderbilt. And then with Alabama and Robert Morris, they get a ton of assists. They're a pretty good rebounding team. They play at a decent pace, a good pace for a team like Alabama, but I think that they're going to turn it over way too much for a team like Alabama, who loves to force turnovers and get out in transition. And I think that this is going to be a super high-scoring game, but Alabama does end up winning by probably close to 20 points. So I am going to take Alabama in this first-round matchup. And then for the round of 32, in my opinion, I think we're going to see Duke and Mississippi State match up here. And Duke is a much better rebounding team. They're more efficient. Neither will really turn it over, but I think Duke, being just overall the better team, is going to get Duke into that next round. I think that this team is just so much better than what Mississippi State is, and I think that is what's going to help Duke out here. And then for Oregon and Akron, I think that Akron is a much better team than what Oregon is, but Oregon, in 4 of their last 6 tournaments, have made it to the Sweet 16. So I think that, and they haven't lost a first-round matchup since 2008. So I think that is definitely going to help out Oregon against Liberty. And then against Akron, I think that they going to end up beating Akron here. But because of they force kind of similar turnovers, Akron's a little bit more efficient, and Akron is better offensively. I can see Akron beating Oregon, but just the fact that Oregon, whenever they get to the tournament, they are definitely a better team overall whenever it comes to tournament history. So I think that that Oregon is going to wind up beating Akron here. And then for BYU and Wisconsin, BYU rebounds a little bit better. They have similar kind of offensive and defensive ratings, and Wisconsin will not turn the ball over, but Wisconsin does not force turnovers very well. But I think because of the way that Wisconsin has really played as of late, I think that Wisconsin is going to beat BYU in this round. And then for St. Mary's and Alabama, I think that St. Mary's is definitely a better team offensively and defensively than what Alabama is. I know Alabama loves to play at that super fast pace, but I think that St. Mary's is definitely more efficient than what Alabama is going to be in a game like this. Now, I think that because of how bad Alabama is defensively, I think that St. Mary's is going to score points, while St. Mary's is going to slow down Alabama's offense. St. Mary's rebounds it very, very well, and Alabama doesn't get a ton of defensive rebounds, but they do get a ton of offensive rebounds. But I don't think that's going to matter against a team like St. Mary's. Interiorly, Alabama is a very, very good interior offensive team. They are efficient inside, and that's where St. Mary's kind of lacks. Offensively, they aren't very good inside. Offensively, they do kind of rely on get most of their points from the three. They don't really rely on it, and they are going to slow down Alabama significantly, and that is why I think that St. Mary's is going to beat Alabama in this second round, the round of 32. And then in the Sweet 16, I do have Duke and Oregon matching up here. Duke is definitely the better team. They are very, very good offensively. They're very, very good defensively. They rebounded very well, and Oregon, I think, kind of lacks the offensive rebounds, but they are able to grab some defensive rebounds. Interiorly, defensively, they are bad, and I think that is going to help out Duke, who is kind of Cooper Flagg is going to score at all three levels. Malouch is going to kind of be a force inside, and then Con Kneipel, he is going to kind of score on the outside. So I think that they are able to score at all three levels, and they are just a much better team than what Oregon is. And Oregon, they don't do a ton of things great, and they don't do a ton of things bad. They're very, very average at everything, and I think that is why I think Duke is definitely going to wind up winning this game. And then for Wisconsin and St. Mary's, I think that Wisconsin, very, very good offensively. They're efficient offensively. They don't turn it over. But St. Mary's is good offensively and defensively. They're going to kind of not really force turnovers on a team like Wisconsin, but they're going to force bad shots. They're going to make them not be able to score rather than just force turnovers on a team like that, and while being able to kind of keep up with Wisconsin scoring, while being able to slow them down pace-wise. They're not going to let Wisconsin get as many shots as they would like to. And St. Mary's is definitely going to, I think, in my opinion, be able to out-rebound a team like Wisconsin. So I do have St. Mary's beating Wisconsin in the Sweet 16 and moving on to the Elite Eight to play Duke. And then what it is going to come down to between Duke and St. Mary's in the Elite Eight is that they both kind of rebounded similarly. St. Mary's is a little bit better of a rebounding team than what Duke is. Duke is way more efficient than what St. Mary's is. Neither of them turned the ball over. They are both kind of similar at getting steals, getting blocks, so I don't think that the turnover battle is going to matter, and rather even that the rebounding battle I don't think is going to really matter in a game like this. But Duke is much better offensively and defensively, rating-wise and just statistically-wise, so I think that what's going to come down to it is that Duke is just going to make more shots than what St. Mary's is, and I think that Duke is going to go on and play in the Final Four. And I think that that is definitely a team to watch out for in the tournament overall. So out of the East region, I think that there is one clear favorite, and I think that is Duke, and that is who I have moving on to play in the Final Four and winning the East region. But this is definitely going to be one of the more competitive regions based on the other games. I think that a lot of those games outside of a game that Duke is going to be playing in, the rest of them are going to be super competitive. And I think that because of how good Duke is, I think that they do end up winning this region. Thanks for watching.